Five toys that did more for the US than most people. Number 5. Silly string. Leonard A. Fish and Robert P. Cox teamed up in 1972 to create an aerosol spray-on cast for broken limbs. They failed miserably. What they ended up with was a substance they patented as a foamable resinous composition, and after months of apprehension, Wham-O decided to distribute it. Fast forward to 2006, stationed in Iraq, SPC. Todd Shriver and the rest of his unit were devoid of any practical way to clear buildings of tripwires that trigger IDs, so they were forced to improvise. Silly string could be sprayed from more than 10 feet away and was lightweight enough to remain suspended by the tripwires without detonating the explosive. Today, more than 120,000 cans of silly string have been shipped to Marines on the front lines. Number 4. Buzz Lightyear. In 1995, Pixar released Toy Story, a movie about a laid-off disgruntled space ranger with a cleft chin and a messianic complex. Much to the dismay of the bare feet of countless American parents, Thinkway Toys began production of the Buzz Lightyear action figure in 1996. It was a massive success, and to this day more than 35 million Buzz Lightyear dolls have been sold. In 2008, NASA sent one particularly lucky Buzz Lightyear doll aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery, where he worked for 15 months with their education outreach program and helped conduct weightlessness experiments. In addition, his catchphrase "to infinity and beyond" sparked excitement in the philosophical world, to the point that the American Humanist Association published an article linking his actions throughout the movie as an allegory of American humanism. One thing is for sure. He limited a ton of human suffering by giving Tim Allen enough money to turn down Wild Hogs 2. Number 3. Viewmaster. Wilhelm Gruber was vacationing in 1939 when he met the president of a picture postcard and film developing company, Harold Graves. There aren't too many businesses more doomed for failure in the 21st century than a shop dedicated to postcards and film developing. It's a good thing they were geniuses and patented the Viewmaster, an invention designed as an alternative to a postcard that made use of obsolete pieces of equipment called stereoscopes. When it debuted at the New York World's Fair in 1939, it was mostly sold in stationery stores and gift shops portraying landmarks like the Grand Canyon. However, in 1942 the U.S. military, deeply rooted in WEI, saw the potential for Viewmasters to be used to train soldiers. The military purchased more than 100,000 Viewmasters with millions of reels of film custom outfitted with pictures to aid in spotting artillery and aircraft. Nowadays, they are highly sought after by collectors and ex-soldiers seeking that warm nostalgic feeling of air raid sirens and widespread death. Number 2. Monopoly. In 1903, Elizabeth Jane Magee Phillips created a game through which she hoped to be able to explain the single tax theory of Henry George and point out the flaws of capitalism. It was originally released as the landlord's game in 1923 and steadily gained popularity throughout Europe and the US until it was released as Monopoly by Parker Brothers in 1934. WEI came soon after, and with it the capture of tens of thousands of Allied soldiers. The British Secret Service used Monopoly games hidden in Red Cross aid packages to conceal customized silk maps, compasses, real money and directions for the escape of U.S. and British soldiers held in concentration camps. The Germans saw it as an ideal way for prisoners to kill hours of time and be educated on the flaws of their own government. Experts estimate that 10,000 soldiers escaped enemy capture due to the Monopoly games. Number 1. Remote control car. The first commercially viable remote control cars were made by an Italian company called Elettronica Giocattoli in 1966, and by the late 1970s there was a thriving worldwide culture of enthusiasts. In 2011, Ernie Fessenden retrofitted a wireless camera to a high-powered remote control car and sent it to his brother who was stationed in Afghanistan. Staff Sergeant Christopher Fessenden loaned it to a group of fellow soldiers who used it to survey the road ahead of them for tripwires. The car hit a tripwire and detonated over 500 pounds of explosives, saving the lives of the 6 soldiers. Today, several units have followed their example and saved the lives of countless American soldiers.